The Appalachian Trail is a wild place, untamed, mysterious, and full of stories that have never been told. It's beautiful and brutal, a landscape that can inspire awe or fear in equal measure. For 20 years, it kept a secret. 2 hikers vanished, swallowed by the wilderness. No one knew what happened, no trace was found, despite desperate searches and endless questions. Then, in 2026, a forestry drone surveying the Nantahala National Forest spotted something unusual. A faded blue speck among the leaves, almost invisible from above. The drone zoomed in, a tattered piece of fabric, snagged on a log at the bottom of a steep hidden ravine. It was a place no one had thought to look, a place only the forest itself could reveal. Nearby, old bones lay half-buried, silent witnesses to a story lost in time. The operator, Leo, realized he'd stumbled onto something huge, something that would change everything for 2 families and an entire community. The cold case of David Miller and Sarah Jenkins, missing since 2006, was suddenly open again. Their faces, once seen on posters and news reports, returned to everyone's minds. Their disappearance had become legend, a cautionary tale whispered around campfires, a mystery that haunted the trail for years. Now, a drone had found what hundreds of searchers, dogs, and volunteers could not. Technology had succeeded where human eyes had failed. Relief and sorrow swept through the community, emotions tangled together as old wounds reopened and hope flickered to life. The forest was finally ready to reveal its story, letting go of secrets it had guarded for decades. The discovery of that weathered blue backpack was just the beginning, a single clue that would unravel a much larger mystery. It was the first clue in a puzzle cold for 2 decades, a puzzle that would demand patience, courage, and compassion to solve. It would lead to a difficult recovery, a heartbreaking journal, and long-awaited answers for those left behind. For the families, it was the start of a journey home, a journey filled with grief, but also with the possibility of closure. The wilderness had kept them for 20 years, but now it was time to bring them back, to finally lay the past to rest. The silence of the forest was about to be broken, as the truth, long hidden, finally came to light. Back in 2006, David Miller and Sarah Jenkins were experienced hikers, fit, prepared, and cautious. They were known in their community for their love of adventure and their respect for the wilderness. They set out to hike a rugged 50-mile stretch of the Appalachian Trail, starting near Fontana Dam, a gateway to some of the wildest terrain in the Smokies. Their gear was top-notch, their plan meticulous. Every detail was accounted for, from food supplies to emergency contacts. They signed the trail register at Big Springs Gap Shelter, the last time anyone saw them. Their names, written in neat handwriting, marked their presence. Their logbook entry was cheerful. Beautiful day. Trail is tough but rewarding. Onward to the next adventure. It was the kind of message that made other hikers smile. When they failed to arrive at their destination, alarm bells rang. Friends and family immediately knew something was wrong. David and Sarah always checked in. Their silence was a scream for help. It was completely out of character for them to go off the grid. Friends described them as inseparable, a perfect team. They trusted each other with their lives on the trail. David navigated. Sarah spotted wildlife. Their skills complemented each other perfectly. Their disappearance made no sense. There were no signs of struggle, no evidence left behind. The area near Big Springs Gap is both stunning and treacherous. Dense forests, steep slopes, unpredictable weather. Even seasoned hikers can lose their way here, but they'd faced tough conditions before. Rain, fog, and rocky climbs were nothing new to them. As days passed, one question haunted everyone. What could have happened so suddenly that 2 expert hikers couldn't even call for help? The forest seemed to swallow all traces. The trail where they vanished is notorious for its beauty and its danger. Stories of close calls and strange happenings linger among hikers. The mystery deepened with every passing day. Search parties combed the woods but found nothing. How could 2 people so prepared simply vanish? No footprints, no gear, no sign of distress. The forest offered no clues, only silence. It was as if the woods themselves had closed in around them. Their story became a chilling legend on the trail, a reminder that even the most prepared can disappear without a trace in the vast, mysterious green. The search for David and Sarah was massive. Hundreds of volunteers, rangers, and law enforcement combed the forest. Search dogs, helicopters, and grid teams scoured every inch. The first 72 hours were critical, but nothing turned up. Teams checked every hollow, creek, and cave, calling their names until hoarse. The terrain was brutal, steep, rocky, and tangled with dense thickets. Despite relentless effort, not a single clue surfaced. It was as if they'd vanished into thin air. The lack of evidence fueled wild theories: abduction, intentional disappearance, but those who knew them dismissed these ideas. After 3 weeks, the official search was scaled back. Families were devastated, rescuers defeated. The mountain had won. The forest kept it secret. The case went cold. For 20 years, the mystery lingered, a somber reminder that even the best can be lost to the wild. The silence of the forest was unbroken. The trail moved on, but the story haunted everyone who passed through. The searchers left, but hope never fully faded. The wild had claimed 2 more souls. The forest waited, holding the truth close. By 2026, drones had revolutionized forest management. On the day of discovery, a drone was mapping the forest floor with LiDAR, revealing details invisible from above. The operator, Leo, spotted the blue fabric on video, but LiDAR showed the real story: a deep, hidden ravine, nearly invisible from the trail. Less than a quarter mile from the Appalachian Trail, the ravine was a natural trap, masked by dense vegetation. No ground searcher would have found it. It was too dangerous to enter. The drone's camera captured the tattered backpack and scattered remains. A faded red jacket tangled in roots told of quiet tragedy. Without the drone, David and Sarah would likely never have been found. The discovery proved how technology can finally reveal what the wilderness hides. The forest's secret was out, thanks to eyes in the sky. The case was no longer lost to time. The truth was finally within reach. Recovering the remains was a daunting task. The ravine's walls were nearly vertical, slick, dangerous, and unforgiving. A technical rope team was needed for the descent. The operation took 2 days to plan and execute. The first down was a forensic anthropologist, documenting every detail before touching anything. Among the remains, they found David's multi-tool in a waterproof container. Inside was Sarah's journal, pages warped, but the writing still legible. The journal was a message from the past. The team worked with care, knowing they were handling the final chapter of 2 lives. Each item was carefully hoisted up, the process slow and exhausting. Finally, the last team member and evidence were out. The ravine was silent again, but its secret was revealed. The recovery was complete. The story could finally be told. The forest had given up its truth. Sarah's journal told the story, each page a window into their journey, their hopes and their fears. Early entries were joyful, filled with laughter and the thrill of adventure, but everything changed on day 3. David slipped on a mossy ridge, breaking his leg badly. Bone exposed, bleeding, pain echoing through the trees. Sarah tried to help, but a sudden storm swept in, turning the slope into a treacherous, muddy slide. Both tumbled into the hidden ravine, battered and trapped, the world above slipping out of reach. Sarah's entries chronicled their desperate attempts to escape, her words growing more urgent with each passing day. The ravine's walls were too steep. Every climb failed, hope slipping away with every muddy handle. They rationed food, found water in a trickling stream, but David's wound worsened despite Sarah's care. Infection set in, fever took hold, and the forest's chill became relentless. Sarah's writing grew weaker as days passed, her words trembling, ink fading as her strength ebbed away. Her final entry: D is gone. My leg is hurt now too. I'm so tired. It's beautiful here though. The sun is coming through the trees, painting the world gold one last time. I'm just going to rest with him for a little while. The journal ended there, silent but full of love. Sarah stayed by David's side until the end. Then, injured and exhausted, she lay down and never got up. Her story entwined with his. The journal was a testament to their love, their courage, and their will to survive against impossible odds. It was a voice from the lost, finally heard, echoing through the trees and time. Their ordeal was over, but their story would endure, whispered by the wind and remembered by all who passed. The truth was heartbreaking, but it brought closure, a gentle peace settling over the forest. The forest's silence was finally broken, replaced by the soft song of morning birds. Their final days were no longer a mystery, their voices carried forward by those who found the journal. The journal gave them back their voices, their memories preserved in ink and paper. The world finally knew what happened, and their story became part of the mountain's legend, never forgotten. The ravine was a perfect invisible trap, hidden by terrain and dense rhododendron. Searchers in 2006 walked right past, unaware of the danger below. LiDAR revealed a deep slot canyon, impossible to climb out without gear. Technology failed them too. No cell signal, no satellite lock for their beacon. Less than a quarter mile from the trail, they were utterly isolated. Their calls for help were swallowed by rock walls. Helicopters overhead saw only trees. David and Sarah were hidden in plain sight. Their story is a stark lesson. Even the best gear can't overcome nature's traps. The mountain plays by its own rules, ancient and unforgiving. Sometimes doing everything right still isn't enough. Forensic science confirmed the truth. Dental records matched the remains. David and Sarah were found. Soil and plant analysis proved they'd been in the ravine the whole time. Isotope analysis showed their diet matched Sarah's journal. Trail food, then only water. Bone injuries matched the journal's account. David's shattered leg, Sarah's broken ankle. Infection was evident in David's bones. Science filled in the gaps, supporting every detail of the journal. Advances in forensics made answers possible that weren't in 2006. There was no foul play, just a tragic accident and the wild's indifference. Science gave the families closure and the story its final chapter. David and Sarah's story is now a lesson for all who hike the Appalachian Trail. Their ordeal changed safety recommendations. Hikers now carry multiple communication devices, including satellite messengers. The silent ravine became a teaching tool for wilderness safety. For their families, the discovery brought peace after 20 years of uncertainty. A simple memorial now stands near the trail, a bronze plaque on a rock bearing their names and the words, "Lost to the wild, found by time." Hikers pause here to reflect, to remember, and to learn. David and Sarah's legacy is not just tragedy, but education and respect for the wild. Their love for the outdoors endures in the lessons their story teaches. The pain of loss is tempered by truth and remembrance. The forest holds their memory, guiding others safely home. Their story endures, carved in stone and in the hearts of all who walk the trail.